Hello everybody from Hong Kong International Airport. My name is Hugo and today I'm going to be taking a flight which I'm very excited for on board Lufthansa's A340-600, one of the most unique, strange looking, longest planes in the skies from here in Hong Kong on a 13-hour journey to Frankfurt. I've wanted to go on this plane for a very long time. I tried last year and failed, thanks Lufthansa, but it looks like we're going to succeed today, getting to fly on this aircraft which is going to be retired quite soon. So without further ado, come along and let's check in. I've just spent the day in the city by the way after taking a flight on Air Premier this morning. I had like a 12-hour layover, so I'm back here at the airport with plenty of time, about 3.5 hours before departure. Check-in today was located at Section F. I think I got an email from Lufthansa asking us to check in carry-on baggage for free since it's quite a full flight. I did online check-in here at the airport, since the bag drop line is smaller. There's lines for bag drop, economy, business class and first class, and this check-in's shared by Lufthansa and Swiss. The allowance was showing 2 checked bags, which I didn't think was the case, but that might have been because they wanted to check in carry-ons, I'm not sure. Anyway, the check-in queue wasn't super speedy, but not too long. Nice that it was open over 3 hours before departure. The check-in agent was friendly. My baggage has been checked through to Lisbon, which is my final destination, and I got boarding passes printed. My carry-on baggage was weighed. It wasn't weighed on Air Premier or T-Way, which is funny because Lufthansa should be the most premium out of the three. Security and immigration here today was very quick, just about 3 to 4 minutes. Now I'm going to go and relax at the Amex lounge for a bit, but because you don't normally get access with that with a Lufthansa economy ticket, I won't show that in this video. And there it is, the A340-600, which will be my ride to Frankfurt. I went to the Amex lounge for a bit, but was watching Flight Radar 24 closely, so I could see when my plane was getting towed over. Once I saw that, I ran to the gate. My ride for the 13-hour journey to Frankfurt will be Delta Alpha India Hotel X-Ray, a 2009-built Airbus A340-600 delivered new to Lufthansa. It's equipped with 4 Rolls-Royce Trent 556-61 engines, and along with all of Lufthansa's A340-600s, was actually retired in 2020. As you can probably guess, this was due to the pandemic. But due to demand coming back quicker than expected and delivery delays, Lufthansa returned some of its A340-600s to service, including this one, with this one having returned in May 2023. These planes are back on the way out though, and I'll get more into that later. Now please allow me to tell you a bit about the A340-600, or if you're not interested, feel free to skip ahead. I went into the A340 program as a whole a bit in my review of Swiss A340 economy last year, so we'll focus on the A340-500 and 600 today. The A340-500 and 600 were launched in 1997, about 10 years after the original -200 and -300, which weren't exactly a huge success, though they didn't flop either. So why build new variants? Well, to put it simply, since airlines were looking for a 747 replacement and Boeing had just launched the 777, Airbus wanted to be able to compete at least a bit, and with production for A340s already set up, it was a lot easier to create new stretched A340 variants than to build a whole new aircraft. The A340-500 and 600 have an improved wing design, including a larger wingspan and much larger engines than their predecessors. Still with 4 engines though, but now the Rolls-Royce Trent 500. Because of the new engines, these new variants meant the aircraft was no longer underpowered like the 200 and 300. The A340-600 is also not terribly inefficient, particularly on very long flights. Now, what makes the A340-600 so unique? For starters, it's the longest single-deck plane and was the longest passenger plane until the 747-8, so even longer than the A380. Because of this, the aircraft looks quite strange as well, and shares the nickname the Flying Pencil with the 757-300. Now the most unique thing about Lufthansa's A340-600s are that they are the only passenger aircraft in the world with passenger lavatories in the cargo hold level, but we'll take a good look at that later. Lastly, the range of both of these new variants is excellent, with the A340-500 actually having been the longest range aircraft at the time, with it having operated Singapore Airlines route from Singapore directly to New York, which was later restarted with the A350-900 ULR, but the route remains the world's longest. What's your favourite A340 variant? And if you've flown on one, which variant and what did you think of it? I'd be interested to hear in the comments. Now let's get on board. Boarding clearly started at least a little early. I got there a couple minutes late, but Group 4, which was my group, had already gone.
How are you? Hey, just out, please.
Thank you. Welcome on board one of Lufthansa's A340-600s, featuring 8 first-class suites in a 1-2-1 configuration at the front, followed by 56 business-class seats in a 2-2-2 configuration, which are based on Collins Aerospace Diamond parallel seats. That's followed by 28 Disembarking seats in a 2-3-2 configuration in premium economy class. And then finally, in economy class, there's just 189 seats in a 2-4-2 configuration. Economy is split into 2 cabins. At the back of the first one, you'll find stairs to go down to the toilets. These A340-600s are in a very premium heavy configuration, because this plane can actually seat 475 passengers with it being as long as it is. But in economy class, there's only as many seats as you'll find on a Ryanair 737. I believe this premium heavy configuration is why you'll see this aircraft being deployed on more premium routes. First impressions are mixed. It's quite a modern cabin in parts, but it also looks cheap, like the seat covers and the headrest. My seat for this flight will be 48A. Now let's take a quick look at the seat features. Legroom's good. I think it's supposed to be 31 inches. The seat back pocket being where it is and without anything in it helps out a bit. The width is also great. Here's the seat back pocket I mentioned before. On the back of the tray table you'll find a cup holder. And the tray table itself you can adjust back and forth and use it half opened or fully opened. Just here there's a literature compartment. Then up here there's an adjustable in-flight entertainment screen, which is not particularly big, but it's not tiny. It looks relatively modern and nicely adjustable. On the side of it you'll find a USB-A port and an audio port. And just here there's a coat hook. The window side armrest can't be moved, which is pretty standard. I think I'm pointing at all of the dots on the wallpaper, I'm not sure what that's for. There is some recline, and the seats do feature headrests adjustable both vertically and on the sides. The headrest is just fine. Now, what is with Lufthansa and hard seat backs? I noticed straight away that the seatback padding is poor. I can feel the seat frame. The overhead panels do not feature individual adjustable air vents. There are universal power sockets though. The crew soon came around and handed out earphones. Oh, also waiting for me at my seat was a pillow with a nice proper fabric cover, and also a blanket.
It's completed.
Menus were also soon handed out, which is a nice touch and not particularly common in economy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dear guests, a warm welcome in the name of Lufthansa on the from your flight towards Frankfurt. My name is Matthias Loth, I'm the captain of this flight. Together with me in the cockpit, Senior First Officer Mr. Nils Peickwold, as well as First Officer Mr. Tim Kruse. On time we're ready. We've just closed the last passenger doors a minute ago. I expect to move here from our parking position within the next 3 minutes. Please make yourself as comfortable as possible and enjoy the flight.
It's now time for pushback, about 10 minutes behind schedule.
Einen recht schönen guten Abend, verehrte Gäste. Meine Damen und Herren, wir verlassen jetzt unsere Parkposition hier in Hongkong. Das heißt, beziehungsweise bedeutet, wir beginnen mit unserer Reise, unseren heutigen Flug und die Crew, die Sie heute Nacht begleiten wird auf dem Weg nach Frankfurt. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests. Finally, we are leaving our parking position here in Hong Kong. That means we will start our journey, our flight, and your crew for today, which will join you on the way to Frankfurt tonight, would like to welcome you on board. Flight time to Frankfurt will be 13 hours and 10 minutes. We ask you to observe the safety tips shown on the video screen shortly. We now wish you a pleasant stay on board.
Wir bitten Sie, sich mit den Sicherheitsvorkehrungen vertraut zu machen.
We will now show you the safety features on board.
Öffnen Sie die Staufächer über Ihren Sitzen immer vorsichtig, damit keine Gegenstände herausfallen können. Nutzen Sie in der Economy und Premium Economy Class zum Verstauen des Handgepäcks auch den Platz unter den Vordersitzen. Schließen Sie jetzt Ihren Sicherheitsgurt und ziehen Sie ihn fest. Dieses Flugzeug hat 10 Notausgänge. Diese Ausgänge haben aufblasbare Rutschen, über die Sie das Flugzeug im Notfall verlassen können. Lassen Sie Ihr Handgepäck an Bord. Nachdem Sie dort Ihre Maske angelegt haben, setzen Sie sich auf den Boden und halten sich an der Griffstange fest. Lesen Sie die Hinweise auf der Sicherheitsinstruktion.
Take care at all times when opening the overhead bins, as items could fall out. In economy class and premium economy class, please also use the space under the seat in front of you for stowing your carry-on baggage. The area outside the lavatories in the lower deck is also equipped with oxygen masks. After putting on the mask, sit on the floor and hold on to the handrail. As the number of oxygen masks in this area is limited, no more than 10 people may wait here at one time. Waiting on the stairs is also prohibited. There is a life vest at every seat. If your electronic device falls into any part of your seat that is not accessible, please call a flight attendant. Follow all signs, placards and instructions given by the crew.
That was a very interesting, not safety video. There wasn't even a thanks for flying Lufthansa. Or at least to get straight to the point with the most important thing. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far and you'd like to see more like it, please consider liking and subscribing. It would really help me and the channel out so much with being able to make more of these videos and to help me make more interesting videos such as this one, and it would also be very much appreciated. Also, if you think this video is pretty hype, feel free to hype the video. Not entirely sure how that new feature works, but yeah, feel free to do so if you want. If you don't want to do any of that though, that's completely okay. It's now time for takeoff on runway 07 right. The A340-600 definitely doesn't feel so underpowered like the A340-300. Now, not too long after takeoff and some beautiful views climbing out of Hong Kong and Shenzhen, packets of cracker mix were handed out. And here's a look at the menu. Bottles of water, which were a decent size, soon followed. The crackers aren't anything special, but they are tasty. That's not the wing view of an A340-600, rather an A330 with Rolls-Royce engines. Lufthansa's Flynet portal, their Wi-Fi portal, is working. There's free messaging, which is nice, and the Wi-Fi prices aren't horrible, but aren't cheap either. €15 for 2 hours or 25 for the flight. There's a couple other things on the portal as well. Now let's take a quick look at the in-flight entertainment screen before the main service. The main meal service. The entertainment screen has an excellent selection of movies, TV shows, music and more, including some new movies like the new Mission Impossible. The mapping application is cool too, though I don't love that it shows the wrong wing view. The system itself is quite good and the responsiveness is decent but not incredible. Almost 45 minutes after the salty snack, the main was served. It's going to be followed by a selection of drinks. For my main, I went for the rice vermicelli noodles. Served alongside the main meal was some cookies or biscuits or something like that, some butter, a Sichuan cucumber salad, a mango mousse cake, as well as a bread roll which is still wrapped in glad wrap or something. The cutlery packet does include metal cutlery though. The fried rice vermicelli with mixed vegetables and choy sum were nice, but not very exciting nor super tasty. It was mostly noodles, then just some veggies. The bread roll was a bit stale and didn't have much flavour. The cucumber salad was quite nice, and the passion fruit mousse was good, then the cookies or biscuits were tasty. For drinks I got an orange juice which was nice, and then I ended up getting a tea with real milk I assume. It was nice. In the cutlery packet as well as metal cutlery there is actually also a toothpick. I find it interesting how the salad and the cake weren't wrapped, but the bread roll was, and the main was served in a foil thing which isn't particularly premium, but the other meal option was served in a tray made of similar stuff to the other dishes. The service was pretty efficient, it didn't take long for the tea and stuff to come after the main meal, and rubbish was collected not too long after the service. Now let's go and take a look at the lavatories in the lower deck. So all of the economy lavatories are here downstairs. I imagine if you couldn't use the stairs you could probably just use the business class ones. There is a gate before you go down the stairs which I guess stops people from just falling down. So why are these here? So Airbus offered the option on this aircraft to have crew restrooms and or lavatories on the same level as the cargo hold in what would otherwise be cargo space. And since this is such a long aircraft, I guess Lufthansa didn't have a need for all that cargo space, so I guess it made sense to have the crew restroom and economy lavatories downstairs, which meant that they could fit in a few more seats. And though it's a bit strange, that does make total sense to me. This area's even got its own little section on the safety video, where it explains you can only have 10 people down here because of the amount of oxygen masks. I didn't actually know at first that there were crew restrooms down here too. They're a bit hidden and obviously passengers can't go in there. These cargo hold toilets are so cool. They're quite big, with the basin area being huge for some reason. These lavatories are pretty clean. There's no additional amenities though, which is a little bit disappointing for such a long flight. It's so cool going downstairs into the cargo hold level though. Near the top of the stairs, the crew have put out some Nutella biscuits and water.
Von Turbulenz. Darum bitte ich Sie, auf Ihre Plätze zurück und nicht anzuschnallen. Vielen Dank. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, Yeah, we have switched on the seatbelt signs. We're just encountering some turbulence. Please seat it and fasten your seatbelts. Thank you.
Now I'm going to try and get a bit of sleep. I got up after almost 5 hours of, I think, broken sleep over somewhere in Georgia or Armenia. The recline was pretty good. The Nutella biscuits are delicious. About 2 hours prior to landing, hot towels were handed out, a surprising and much appreciated touch before breakfast. I think this is the first time I've gotten a hot towel in economy, and I didn't expect that to be on Lufthansa. The earphones are pretty standard, but I can hear from them okay. I was served my breakfast about an hour and a half before landing. For breakfast it was either a cheese omelette with the other things on screen now, or no breakfast. I went for the omelette. This was served alongside some strawberry yogurt, some strawberry jam, some butter and a soft bread roll. And here's the cutlery packet, which looks different to the first one. The main dish was solid, the eggs were nice and the other stuff was okay. Then the yogurt was just standard strawberry yogurt and the bread roll was nice, not so stale and nice with some jam and butter. The drinks trolley soon followed, including tea and coffee. I went for an apple juice and a black tea this time because I didn't love the taste with the creamer, which was actually liquid cream and not milk. Which is contrary to my earlier notes saying that it was nice, but I don't know. But the apple juice and the tea was good. I preferred the tea without the creamer. I have many notes about this service again. Firstly, what happened to metal cutlery? This was some hard paper type material which worked just fine. But why metal cutlery the first service but not the second? Maybe because dinner's fancier? But like, why not just stick with the same thing? Also, it's a 13-hour flight, so considering that, I'd expect an additional dish with breakfast, such as fruit. Since again it's a long flight and this is supposed to be a premium airline. Also, for the same reasons, I believe there should have been a second option. But I'd be interested to hear what you think in the comments. After the breakfast service, chocolates were handed out before landing. Now, towards the end of the flight, the lavatories aren't too clean. There was a Lufthansa dental kit packet in one of them, so maybe they give those out upon request?
Frankfurt. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck. My name is Disembarking. I'm the first officer of this flight, and I would like to give the latest information concerning our flight to Frankfurt. We will shortly start our descent towards Frankfurt. Remaining flight time is approximately 30 minutes, which will bring you to destination time. Otherwise, we expect almost no clouds, 13 degrees centigrade. I hope you enjoyed the flight with us. I'll be working with you soon again. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. You just heard the announcement from our pilot. Anyway, we left our cruising altitude, approaching Frankfurt, and going to land in the next 15 to 20 minutes. We kindly ask that you prepare yourself for landing. Make sure that your hand luggage is safely stowed, and please fasten your seatbelt again.
As we descend into Frankfurt, please allow me to conclude this flight with Lufthansa. Check-in in Hong Kong was without issue really, not a standout experience either way. Boarding was done early, which isn't that surprising since it was 30 minutes before departure. It was done by groups, which in theory is good, but I didn't really get to experience how it was working because I was there after my group had gone. Once on board, the seat has a good amount of space, however the seat back is quite hard and not very comfortable. Otherwise, the seat has all the standard features, and the in-flight entertainment screen, while not huge, is modern enough and has a fantastic selection of movies, TV shows and more, and a great in-flight map. It's nice to have free messaging and at least the option of proper Wi-Fi is there if you want to pay. The downstairs toilets are cool, relatively spacious, and they seem to work fine. As for the amenities waiting on the seat, the pillow was nice and the blanket was solid, but a water bottle would have been a nice touch for a long flight, but it's not a big deal. The menu is nice to have even though it's basic, but it's cool to see in economy. The meal services overall were underwhelming, and also a bit odd, with some things in nicer cups and stuff, some things in cheaper things, and the cutlery being different depending on the service too. And again, it would have been nice if there was another option for brekkie. I do think that they offer a good selection of alcohol, which is nice. The service times and efficiency was good, I think. Even though the seat back isn't the most comfortable, so I'm a bit sore now, I'm happy I was able to get a decent amount of sleep. The cabin crew have been efficient, but not particularly friendly, though not rude either. The A340-600 as a plane has been nice to fly on. Maybe slightly quieter than the A330. Listening back and editing, I actually feel like it's a decent amount, but I don't know. But yeah, it's not the most modern or nicest plane, but still, I like the layout, and of course for an aviation enthusiast it's epic. So overall it's been incredible getting to fly on the A340-600, but Lufthansa has not impressed me much. It's not been bad, but just not great, and it's meant to be a premium carrier, and for the price I paid in particular, it's not worth it at all. It can be cheaper, though still I'd probably only pick Lufthansa long-haul economy again if it's the cheapest full-service airline. I should mention though that on this flight there was some great premium touches like the hot towel, but they did feel a bit out of place with some of the other things. The cabin temperature was pretty good throughout the flight. I'd fly with Swiss again over Lufthansa if the plane wasn't a consideration. I'd absolutely recommend trying the A340-600 though if you're an aviation enthusiast, so it was worth it for that. Unfortunately, at this stage, though this could change because it's changed a lot, I think Lufthansa's last scheduled A340-600 flight at this stage is a round trip to Dammam via Riyadh in January. But we'll see. It is scheduled to leave the Hong Kong route though in just a week's time, I think. We'll soon pull into the gate about 10 or 11 minutes behind schedule, but for now please enjoy the rest of the approach and landing at Frankfurt, our main airport.
Gäste, wir haben es geschafft. Nach 13,5 Stunden sind wir fast pünktlich in Frankfurt gelandet. Herzlich willkommen. Wir möchten Sie nun bitten, so lange angeschnallt sitzen zu bleiben, bis die Anschnallzeichen Ihrem Sitz ausgeschaltet worden sind und das Flugzeug seine finale Parkposition erreicht hat. Kapitän Lucht und die gesamte Besatzung möchten sich nun von Ihnen verabschieden. Wir hoffen, dass Ihnen der lange Flug mit uns, mit Lufthansa, gefallen hat. Wir hoffen, dass Ihnen die Performance, die Essensauswahl, die Essensqualität und auch die Getränkeauswahl gefallen hat und dass Sie nicht nur das Gefühl haben, dass Sie bei der richtigen Fluggesellschaft das Ticket gekauft haben. Und falls Sie Weiterflug haben, eine angenehme Weiterreise. Dankeschön, bleiben Sie gesund, bis zum nächsten Mal und auf Wiedersehen. Ladies and gentlemen, we just arrived almost on time in Frankfurt. Welcome. We kindly ask that you remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the fasten seatbelt sign above your seat has been switched off and the aircraft has reached its final parking position. Captain Lucht and the entire crew would like to say goodbye. We really hope that you enjoyed the last 13.5 hours with us here on board, that you like the quality of the food, that you like the selection of the beverage, and of course the performance of the crew on the way from Hong Kong to Frankfurt. Thank you for buying and choosing Lufthansa for this long trip. And if you stay here in the Rhine-Main area, we do hope that you still have a nice, successful day. If you have an onward flight, we wish you a nice onward journey. Once again, thank you. See you again. Take care. Bye-bye and auf Wiedersehen.
This video is not done just yet, so stick around if you want to see a little bit of business class, first class, and even a glimpse at the cockpit. But for now, I'd like to take this time to thank you all so much for watching this video, and sorry if it's ended up being out a bit late, which I think it probably will be. I'd also like to thank all of my incredible Patreons for helping to make these videos possible. Their support is truly so much appreciated, and I couldn't do what I do without them, so thank you so much to them.
Crew, all doors in park.
Ladies and gentlemen, just an advice from my side. Please check carefully.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ja, ist ja gut. Dann sollst du mal kurz warten, bis die Gäste alle ausgestiegen sind. Okay, nochmal einen Moment warten. Wait. Hi.
Once again, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you in my next one, next Saturday at 5 PM Melbourne time.